All right, guys, how's it going? Now, yesterday we went over the David Ornstein stuff, right? The tweet that he put out about Liverpool have now identified a number 6, not Premier League based. That linked through to a paragraph or two on the Athletic, and the wording of it all sounded very strange. It didn't sound like football speak. It didn't sound like it had come from Edwards or Hughes. It felt like it came from FSG, and that's just my opinion. I know that Ornstein has access to the ownership and to people within FSG, as well as people at Liverpool Football Club, whereas Joyce at the Times is basically just Edwards previously, and we now have to assume Hughes as well, and not FSG, right? So I think that came from FSG. Via Ornstein. And like I always say to you, there's always a reason when something like that happens. Like, why were we told that yesterday? Who wanted us to hear that yesterday? Was it the ownership just wanting to calm, the nerve? I don't think so. I don't really think they give a fuck too much about what we think. But what it could have been, and this is what I've thought more about it since yesterday, and I'm convinced with this one, is that was a tweet, or that was a bit of reporting or a leak to put pressure on a situation that Liverpool Football Club are trying to do a deal with on a number 6. And they want to create the impression, maybe, that there's someone else they're interested in. That's what I think it is. I do. And some people might think that with that happening within 24 hours of Manchester United apparently cooling their interest in Manuel Ugarte, if you were a club holding that other number 6, or you were the number 6, you might be thinking, oh, is it Manuel Ugarte? What the fuck is that? I hate flies, mate. Fuck off, you fucking... It's a family channel. I genuinely think that was put out there to apply pressure, right? Okay, that's what I think. And... because it's very unusual to be told about a player like I've identified and closing in on, or whatever you want, however you want to word it, but not even indicate as to who that player is. So it was a little bit vague, sounded a little bit strange. Now, there was also emphasis on not the Premier League. Why? Why not the Premier League? What was that emphasis on? Now, we know, well, okay, I'm going to rephrase this because you might not choose to believe me in my previous videos, but I know, or I have the opinion, that Liverpool are communicating with Wolves. And some people think that maybe this is to try and put pressure on Wolves if they're trying to get Gomez. And do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, it's just so many different permutations and possibilities. It's all fun and games. But the reason I'm making the video is just to reiterate that I think that tweet, that coverage by Ornstein yesterday was from FSG and not LFC, and is to apply pressure on someone or something. That's what I think. So there's no point waffling on about it much longer. It's just I know that when I first touched on the video yesterday, it was still raw in my mind. I was like, But I've had time to think about it, and I just think the way it was worded makes it sound like that. And remember, that was for someone's benefit yesterday. It's just a case of working out who it is. Let's say Liverpool were trying to sign Gomez from Wolves, right? And now you've got a key Liverpool FC journalist saying, or Liverpool have now identified a number 6 elsewhere from the Premier League. If you're Wolves, you're like, oh, they're leaving it then. That's what I mean by applying pressure. It might not be Gomez. So yeah, I know my videos are a bit like, my job is to try and just plant the seed and to give you my thoughts about things. And usually collectively with your comments on my videos, after I've planted the seed, we usually do get there. Do you know what I mean? And you might leave a comment and I'll go, oh yeah. Do you know what I mean? I did a video prior to this one about Joyce. And if you don't want to watch that video, basically what I'm saying is you should be watching what Paul Joyce says now. Paul Joyce. That's what I'm doing. Like, so last night, before I went to bed last night, I was like, I wonder if he'll surface, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. But he didn't. So I'll be thinking the same thing tonight. Will he surface tonight? Will he surface tonight? I don't think it'll be very long before you hear something further, whether it is from Ornstein or Joyce. And it will be from one of them two. I don't think Romano is going to get in first or like that. So, well, unless Romano has good relations with the agent of the number 6 or the club concerned. But Romano hasn't touched on it yet, so I don't think that's the case. Let's see what happens. All right, guys. If you appreciate the video, please thumbs up the video. Please drop me a comment about it all. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks button and I will give you a shout out tomorrow morning. And of course, if you want to support my channel, you can become a channel member. They're absolute heroes around this. That's the Schwad. You'll see them when they come on the live streams at 2 o'clock and 7 today. They get priority. They're the important people. I've got to look after them. So, yeah. Definitely part of the game, that coverage from Ornstein yesterday. And I'm really interested to see where it's going to go next. I am, guys. I love trying to piece it all together. I really do. I do. So let's see what Joyce has got for us next. Or Ornstein. And then watch the Liverpool clique of journalists, the low-key journalists, the ones that think they're still relevant, the ones that have just had to, go to YouTube now or whatever, you know what I mean? Then, because they'll all then latch on. They'll all have known everything for weeks and months. You know that, don't you? You know the fucking drill. We know, don't we, guys? Right, I'll see you on here at 2 o'clock this afternoon and 7 tonight. All right.